This Earth Month, we got together to do a second edition of the New York City Plant Swap. Word got out because this time, however, we had twice as many people as last, and a very long waiting list. Which means plants, plants, and more plants. Health-Ade provided the beverages, keeping plant swappers quenched with chilled kombucha and muddled herbs. Roof-to-Table Gotham Greens and Kite Hill, a dairy-free yogurt company, did an awesome pairing with some pesto romaine boats. And Splendid Spoon provided plant-based soup shots for passers-by. Attendees even had an opportunity to get a custom-blended beauty mix from the beauty bar provided by Lolly, an organic certified zero-waste beauty brand. While some guests were busy checking in, others were busy checking the plants out, or staking their claim to good seats for the upcoming panel. Maria from Bloom and Grow Radio moderated the session, which featured representatives from the Organics program at the Department of Sanitation in New York, Gotham Greens, and Health-Ade Kombucha. The principal theme revolved around composting and reducing waste.
So what we're doing is we're examining New York City's waste stream to look at the biggest components and the places where we think we can make the biggest impact. And we recently released a study and found that about 34% of the material in the average New York City trash bin is made up of those organics. Right. So what we're trying to do is give people a tool to better separate them at home, to keep them out of the waste stream and turn them into a resource. So when you use that brown bin, what you're doing is giving us your organics to turn into what we like to call black gold. So that's that actual compost matter. Yeah, that's a great question. So the compost goes to a variety of facilities all around. A couple are located in the city, and the rest are located in the region. So within a short distance of the city. And the really nice thing about this is surrounding New York City is a lot of farmland. So we're sending our organic waste to the areas where it's most direly needed. It's being turned into compost or clean energy, and that compost is then being, given back to the farms. So that's something we're really excited about.
So speaking of composting, I'd love to move over to Amelia, so we can talk a little bit about Health-Ade and what, on a larger scale for a business, what efforts you guys are doing to incorporate less waste into your company's mission and your personal life.
The most significant thing that we've done so far is begin to compost. And I think when I first introduced this idea at Health-Ade, there were a variety of responses. And sometimes people say like, oh, she's just like a crazy composting lady. She's real, you're either passionate about composting or you're not. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is how composting or not composting really affects us all. And 30% of the greenhouse gases released by a landfill come from organic waste. And if you put those into compost, where they degrade a lot faster and more efficiently, and also can become something that's nourishing for soil and can help regenerate land, then not only are you displacing, these greenhouse gases, but also saving space in landfills. And I heard a stat recently that our country is on schedule to run out of landfill space by the time my kids are in college, which is in about 10 years. So this is something that really affects us all. We don't have to be crazy plant people in order to see the benefit of composting. So at Health-Ade, we use a lot of tea, and we have a lot of SCOBY, which is like this mass of cellulose that we use to ferment the tea. And then we also do a lot of cold-pressed juice, because we flavor all of our kombucha with just cold-pressed juice. So we have tons of blood oranges and carrots and beet pulp, and just about a year ago, we began composting all of the organic waste, and just from May to the end of last year, we ended up displacing over 600,000 pounds of organic waste from landfills in California. So just composting reduced our trash output by over 40%.
Thank you so much for all of that. That's a perfect segue. Speaking of imperfect produce, we can move over to Gotham Greens. We'd love to hear about what you guys are doing at Gotham Greens to reduce waste as well.
So I guess just to take it from kind of the top level, we use 100% renewable electricity to power all 4 of our facilities. We're also capturing all of our irrigation water for reuse. So agriculture is one of the leading causes of global water pollution, and it also is one of the largest users of fresh water around the world. So it really makes sense, not just in places like California where there's a real shortage of water, but also in places like New York City to be really efficient with our water use. Gotham Greens has really taken this idea of fresh vegetable production and brought it to cities. What percentage of lettuce do you think is grown outside of California and Arizona?
Just yell out numbers.
10.
2%.
Whoa.
2% of lettuces and herbs that are grown domestically in the US are coming from places outside of California and Arizona. And they also are experiencing extreme drought. So our founders back in 2011 realized that there was a real opportunity to grow these highly perishable leafy greens and herbs in New York City. And so we started to look to the ground and quickly realized that it would have to be very expensive lettuce if we were going to be able to afford to grow in greenhouses on the ground. And so we started looking to the roofs. And we built our first commercial scale rooftop greenhouse in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. It was actually the first in the country. And it was kind of our proof of concept. And so that facility is still operational. That's in Greenpoint. And within like a month or so, we had attracted customers like Whole Foods and chefs like Mike Anthony at Gramercy Tavern. And in the last couple years have continued to expand. So we have that second location in Gowanus, which you guys are all welcome to come out and visit. A third location, which is in Queens, and a fourth, which is in the south side of Chicago. That's the world's largest rooftop farm, and it's on top of Method Soap's soap facility. And yeah, we're in the process of expanding. So we're really focused on, even though we're not necessarily using soil and compost, we are composting on our sites, at our farms. And we're really about just reducing the environmental footprint of doing business.
After the panel, we got to swapping. Admittedly, it was a little chaotic, and some plants were swapped multiple times. There was quite the selection to choose from: bromeliads, succulents, alocasia, prayer plants, and even some mangrove trees. At the end of the event, people seemed pleased with their newfound plants. And even got to go home with some goodies in gift bags featuring items from Health-Ade, Gotham Greens, Splendid Spoon, Espoma Organic, Lolly, DSNY, The Sill, and Bare Bones Living. All in all, it was a good time, and we can't wait until the next one.